Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis, and today is a good day to talk about Parallax Trajectory. Now, this is going to be the currency for the entire season that we're going to use for multiple things, but the biggest thing to point out about it at first is that there's a capacity limit to it. You can only have 1,500. So the biggest thing I want to cover today, one, make you aware that you have 1,500 so you don't waste your efforts of trying to collect more. But two, I want to give you guys all the reasons of what you're going to use it for, kind of explain the reasons why you're going to be accumulating it, but also where you can spend it when you kind of run out of other spots. So let's dive in first to how you earn this stuff. And the nice thing about this currency with regards to how you earn it is the fact that you earn it in a lot of places. Previous seasons, the currency has been very specific to, here's the seasonal activity, you go do this here, and then you have to use it here, and it's very specific. They actually did open it up, kind of again, they're learning as they go through seasons, little quality of life changes. You can actually earn the currency all over pretty much everything. Probably the easiest chunk to get is going to be your playlist activities. I know strikes are going to be 150. I think Crucible matches are the same way. I actually haven't done a Gambit match yet this season because I typically try and save my Gambit stuff for just like one run through if I'm going to do it. But I know strikes are 150. Crucible matches I think are the same way. Maybe some Crucible matches are lower, like, you know, momentum control. If it goes faster, that might be 100, but it's 100 to 150. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I know strikes, pretty straightforward, 150. What do those take you, like 10 minutes? It's a pretty decent number that you're going to be getting. Unfortunately, as you have a capacity of 1,500, you do 10 strikes, you're at the max. So it's not going to be overly difficult to max out. Second place you can get it, public events. Usually the easiest ones to find are EDZ. And you can get a decent rotation of going through like, hey, this one's up, you're able to catch it. You finish it in a couple minutes, you go over here, do this one. Normal public events are going to give you 75. And then the heroic public events, if you turn them heroic, are going to give you 88. It's not a bad little run through because, take this one for example, it just popped up, Winding Cove. This is one of the fastest ones to do. You'll get to like 33% on the thing, on the little like Cabal thing, the drill, then you're going to shoot the ship. As soon as that guy's, the enemy boss spawns, everybody nukes him, he's done. It takes like 2 minutes. 88 in 2 minutes, yeah, that's really efficient. Depending on which one you do, like this one's not bad because you can, you know, destroy the servitor pretty quickly if you get a good group in there. If it's solo, it's a little longer. If you're in the Tross land, when you have to, you know, go to the 3 locations and then destroy the little, you know, glimmer things, and you have to defend the glimmer pile, it takes a little bit longer. It's still not bad. Even if a public event takes you like a full 5 minutes for 88, it's still going to be slightly more efficient if you go heroic than, say, something like a strike. But it also depends on what you need to do. If I need to go through and I need to get, you know, strikes completed for Pinnacle gear, I probably should do those before weekly reset is up, versus, you know, spending time just trying to farm it all, because you only are going to get 1,500. Now, you're also going to get like 3 randomly every so often when you just like kill an enemy. It just happens. And there's not a whole lot of reasoning to it. I think it is mostly random. I thought for a minute it was tied to precision kills, but it doesn't seem to be. The other thing you're going to notice is these things called Ascendant Anchors. And those are going to come from this week at least. I'm doing this video on August 30th, so if you see this later on, things have probably changed. But in week 1, we had 22 Ascendant Anchors throughout pretty much all of the European Dead Zone. I'm guessing they're going to bring other destinations in to put those in, so I don't know if there's going to be as many. But again, we had 22 here. Nessus probably has a lot of room for them to like spread those around, so I'd imagine that's going to be one. But there's probably going to be quite a few spread around over the course of weeks. So you'll be finding Ascendant Anchors there. You're also going to find Ascendant Anchors in Shattered Realm. Now, the Ascendant Anchors, some are just open. Some are going to take you a little bit of traversal. Some are going to take you actually having things unlocked at the Wayfinder's Compass, which is what we're going to talk about next. But each Ascendant Anchor that you find is going to give you 30. There's actually things at the Wayfinder's Compass that says the Ascendant Anchors could give you more, but we won't be getting that for probably at least a couple of weeks. Cover that here in a second as well. But the main thing is, playlist activity is about 100 to 150. If you're going for your pinnacles, things like that, make sure you knock them out. If you want to grind public events, EDZ or Nessus typically has a good rotation of public events going on that are usually pretty farmable. So that's a good way if you need to farm some up pretty quickly. Those are probably the best way. Ascendant Anchors, you're going to want to do those to knock out the triumphs and the challenges. All of that stuff's going to be helping you with experience and everything else. So, you know, getting your Ascendant Anchors is going to be a good thing. And then while you get the Ascendant Anchors, I have videos over these. Like, yes, currently the Shattered Realm Ascendant Anchors, I have collected all 10 in Shattered Realm for Ballast 1, and unfortunately 1 is showing. Now, this is supposed to correct itself tomorrow, so be aware that this bug should be fixed tomorrow, and it should be showing 10 of 10, so hopefully that should be fine. But all these little things are going to be tied to your Wayfinder's compass level. So notice the Wayfinder's compass calibration level, that ties into all of this. So now that you've got Parallax Trajectory, what do you use it on? Well, the first thing and probably most important thing is this guy. So we're in the helm down here at the Wayfinder's compass. And what you'll note is, it's like every seasonal NPC, that we've dealt with basically is one of the war table. We had the Splicer thing, and now we've got this. And you've got all these nodes that you're going to unlock. But you'll notice some of them are time gated. Complete step 10 of the Wayfinder's Voyage. Well, if you go check the Wayfinder's Voyage quest, you'll notice it screams at you, this quest will progress at the next weekly reset. Now, the idea that a quest has 53 steps to it, it is a very blatant time gate to it, that's a discussion for a completely separate video, but there's going to be some time gating to pieces of this, so I was just trying to make you guys aware when it's talking about this, this is your 53 step quest, and we got through 6 of them in the first week. I don't know how many we're going to progress every week, but if it's 5 to 6 every week, you'll see some of this is going to take a little while. But the first one you'll want to spend it on, if you haven't yet for some reason, is Barrier Breach. And that's going to allow you within the Shattered Realm, Forest of Echoes, and again, if you find this on like week 7 of the season, we could be on a different Shattered Realm. The reason I say right now, Shattered Realm, Forest of Echoes, because I have a feeling just like Expunge had multiple varieties, and Override had multiple varieties. I have a feeling Shattered Realm is going to have Forest of Echoes, and then other subtitles underneath that are going to be different locations, and we might go through different, first week we'll go through 1, 2, and 3. I'm guessing. Again, they've done this a couple times, so I have a hunch it's going to work this way. So say this is week 1, then there's another Shattered Realm on week 2, then there's another one on week 3. Maybe in week 4 we come back into the Forest of Echoes. If that's the case, things are going to be different in there, and that's why unlocking this should probably be your priority. Now, if you have left over, then I'm gonna cover what to do there. Sorry, I hit a button. But for the Wayfinder's Compass, Barrier Breach is stage 1. Because it allows you to pass through barriers, allows you to go after and get the chests that you need for the trivial chests. Also, your Ascendant Anchors are typically hidden. The next thing, if you're wandering around in the Shattered Realm, you'll notice you see True Sight. Something requires True Sight. That's this one, but we have to complete step 10. Obviously, I can't do this until at minimum tomorrow when I'm recording this, but until we actually get able to be able to progress far enough in the quest. This one down here, step 17. Probably going to guess this is related to week 3, maybe 4, but at least 3. And this is Safe Passage. You'll notice there's little beacons that have different titles on them. Some say True Sight, some say Safe Passage. The barrier ones are the only one we can interact in this first week, so things are going to unlock as we go. And you'll notice some things are going to even unlock later on as well. Now, these all say you need True Sight, but again, I don't know their timegation. That's probably not a word, but that's fun. Because up here, get to level 4. If my quest wasn't bugged, I could get here. So that'd be fine. But then 5, couldn't do anything here. 6 or 7, 8. This one says level 20 or step 27. I'm not going to see this until like week 6. And that says increase the duration of the barrier effects, which means I'm going to be able to get a barrier buff that lasts longer, which is probably going to let me be able to go places that I couldn't before, which is the main key. If you look down here, you can see True Sight now highlights nearby Ascendant Anchors, going to make them easier to spot. But you'll notice additional Ascendant Anchors appear, like ones that just literally were never there before. When we get to this stage in the compass, we're going to see Ascendant Anchors that we couldn't even see before, and then you'll be able to go farm even more. Again, stay tuned to the channel. If you want to see all those guides from me that I've been doing, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to put guides where all of these things appear, show up, and progress over the course of the season. But even if you get down here, gain an overshield and health bar. After disabling a Field of Strife, your first Techie and Rescue each week drops an additional Tier 3 Focus Engram. We'll get to that in a second. Those are actually quite important. The duration of Safe Passage, all these things are going to unlock. So the main point is a lot of this season is going to be time gated. It's not like, hey, you should unlock here first and then here to have the most efficient path and go later. It's pretty much going to force you where to go. Like next week, if we can get to here, I would probably start doing this so you can explore more in the Shattered Realm, but then you'll probably be able to unlock some of these as well. But this one, can't do anything until we get to step 27, and that's probably not going to be for weeks. So there is some time gating. I was just trying to cover that with you guys so you know. But again, putting your Parallax Trajectory into this thing as much as you can is going to be important to allow you to do everything you can each week. But you're going to get to a point like I am right now, I can't do anything with it. And if I ran like 6 more strikes, I would be at capacity. So there's 2 places you can spend it. One is the seasonal activity. So if you go to the Dreaming City and you'll notice this guy right here, the Astral Alignment. The Astral Trove, which is the chest at the end of that, actually costs Parallax Trajectory. you know, you could open those for powerful tier 1, tier 2, and I'm guessing tier 3s if I do a few more. But that is one of your places to spend that. It's not a bad place to spend it, actually, because every 150 you spend gives you a piece of seasonal gear, whether it's a weapon, which there's definitely some interesting rolls out there, or a piece of armor. The armor could have crappy stats, it could have good stats, but it's going to be a piece of armor or gear, or weapon, I should say, from Season of the Lost. So it's very specific gear that you're going to get from the Astral Alignment Trove. So that's one of the places to spend it once you max out your compass. The final place is also in the Helm, but it's actually the Umbral Engrams. When I said the tier 3 Umbral Engrams are important, this is why. If you're going to spend money on Umbral, if you're going to spend anything on Umbral Engrams, my advice is the top row, if you just want to go after a couple of things, or the bottom row. Main reason is, take this one for example. This costs 450 Parallax Trajectory. What does it do? It gives me an engram that contains either a bow or the hand cannon. So you narrow down your loot to 2 things, and then you can see what random roll you get from there. It's not a bad thing. But for 150 more, now you are limited to 4 of these per week. So if at some point, if you've used all of these and you're still just like, I want to keep going for a bow, you could. But there's probably better places. These are important. You do get 4 a week for tier 3. And they're only 600 instead of 450. So please make sure you get these. The big thing to note about these is you'll say, this one's going to be a bow and a hand cannon, same as the one above it. The difference is going to happen. It's going to have a choice of one, or it's going to, with a perk choice in one or both of the final columns. Basically what that means is take Velpicula, for example. This is the seasonal weapon. Column 1, barrel. Column 2, magazines. The fun perks, usually the ones that can probably determine if a roll on a gun is going to be worth your time hardly at all, is column 3 and column 4. So basically what can happen is if you get a tier 3 engram, you potentially could have an extra perk here and an extra perk here in column 3 and 4. Now, not all of them are going to be that way. Sometimes you'll probably get one with just an extra perk in tier 4. But the fact that you can have a potentially perk here, perk here, perk here, and perk here means your chance at a good roll is going to go up substantially. So please make sure that you buy your tier 3 engrams every week, because if you're looking for god rolls, that is going to be one of the ways specifically that you go after that. I keep finding stuff with ensemble, but as I play solo, it's not doing me a whole lot of benefit right now. With a group, it might not be bad, but as I'm solo, I want a different roll right here. So again, as I'm working through some of the stuff I'm working on, at some point I'm going to try, you know, get a decent roll on this thing. But the idea is the fact that I could have 2 more rolls here to pick from is going to give me a chance at a much better weapon. This is a pretty high range one, but I'll get beside that in a second. So those are the main pieces about Parallax Trajectory. You're going to have your ways to get it are your main places on the director. Pretty much your playlist activities. You've got your public events if you want to farm them. If you know you're done with your playlist activities, you can farm them probably a little quicker here. Any enemies you kill possibly will give you 3. The Ascendant Anchors, which we're going to be tracking down all of these collectibles all season, will be giving you 30. Later on, they may even give you a little bit more. We'll see what that is. If you're going to spend it, make sure you spend it at the Wayfinder's Compass to unlock all the upgrades we can. You can spend it at the Dreaming City activity. So if you just, 150 is going to give you a chance at a piece of gear. So if you come in here, at least, opening the trove gives you a chance at something, do some activity. Not a bad way to spend your time. But then please make sure, depending on how much time that you've got, again, as these are 600, I know not everybody's going to have a chance to run that many, playlist activities in a week because people have different amounts of playtime. But if you can go after at least 1 or 2 of these tier 3 engrams, please do it. And again, just check out the requirements. Like I need to get a few more grenade kills here, some more super kills to unlock this one, need some more auto rifle kills. Check the requirements. They'll tell you what you need. But the main piece is if I go after a weapon and I can get 2 different perks, and then like last season, the armor is typically going to lean very heavily into the stats. So say this is for recovery. And then it's also going to have a generally pretty high stat roll. 60 plus is mostly what I see out of these tier 3s. So whether it's armor you need for a certain build or a weapon you're trying to get a certain roll and you get multiple perks to have a chance, tier 3 engrams, we've got 6 months. You're going to have a chance to get some pretty good stuff for sure. So hopefully that covers everything you need to know with regards to Parallax Trajectory. I know this was a bit longer video, but I didn't want to cover kind of all the details, where to farm it, why to farm it, and then what to make sure you spend it on, because it caps at 1,500, so you're going to want to make sure you spend it frequently so you don't hit that cap too often. I wish they would bump up the cap higher, but I know they're trying to manage like the season, the length, and everything else. So again, the time gating of some of this stuff, that's a decision or a discussion for another video. But as for this video, hopefully you learned pretty much everything you need for Parallax Trajectory. If you did enjoy the video, please drop a like below. Leave a comment if you've got a question about anything. Hopefully I can clarify as things change throughout the season. Maybe this will need a separate video to revisit it once we know more. But for the time being, if you did enjoy it, drop a like, leave a comment if you got thoughts. If you want to see more guides from me, like, you know, where are all the anchors going to be on week 2? Hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell. I'm going to be working on those videos tomorrow at reset, so you guys will see me work on that. If you want to support me directly, you can hit that join button to support me directly here on the channel. You guys can also find me over on Twitter at Ebontis and then streaming sometimes on Twitch. I also stream here on YouTube, but it's twitch.tv/Ebontis over there. Sometimes here. Thank you guys very much. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.